Everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Ed, and in this video, it's the final conclusion of the Sub 70 699 OGs, the very first version that came out to the new Sub 70 699 Pro V3s. What I did is I got two sets. I have the original set that I got. That was probably one of the first 10 sets that were ever out of that. Compared it to one of probably the early sets as well as the V3s. I went ahead and already did the unboxing video. I did the first impressions right out of the packaging, right out of the plastic to see how they felt. And then on this channel as well is the full test that we're about to recap. So if you'd like to check any of those out, all these links are in the video as well as on my channel. So go ahead and check those out if you want to see the full, gambit of this review. So to kind of set the stage for what I did here in this test, like I said, I've got the two sets of clubs, identical sets, 4-through pitching wedge. I had the shafts and the lie built pretty much identical, almost exactly the same, grips, everything. Try to keep the comparison as close as we possibly could. I went ahead and used a brand new sleeve of Strixon Z-Star golf balls. I went ahead and put these little labels on it, these little stickers. These are from Just Eponymous Designs, and if you're interested in these, the link is right here up to that video as well. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to get as best of a review as I possibly could, comparison with statistics, with numbers. To do that, SkyTrak, had that hooked up, OG SkyTrak right here, had that running the data on us. We went into the golf lab, and it's time now to go over all the data that we collected between the Sub 70 699 OG and the 699 V3. Here's what we found out between these two clubs.
All right, so now we're going to compare the Sub 70 699 OGs, the first set that came out of this model, to the brand new Sub 70 699 V3s. Same irons, just a newer version. Using SkyTrak data to pull all the numbers. I've got all the averages here, so let's dig in and see what the differences really are, and then analyzing everything to see what it is that I'm able to, figure out. Starting with the short irons, pitching wedge, and 9-iron, honestly, these clubs are almost identical between the two sets. Carry distances, total distances, smash factors, they're basically the same. Dispersion was a little bit tighter with my gaming pitching wedge, but nothing really dramatic. I wasn't really seeing much of a difference in how far they go or how they land. Now moving into the 8 and 7 irons, this is where the 699 V3s start to separate themselves. With the 8-iron, I picked up about 3 extra yards of carry in total distance compared to my original Sub 70 699s. Nothing crazy, but the numbers were consistent. When I got into the 7-iron, the difference really jumped. The 699 V3 carried 162 yards versus 155 with the original 7-iron. There's a solid 7-yard gain there. And at peak height and descent angle with the new V3 stayed high enough that those extra yards should still hold the green. So I'm gaining more yards and I'm still holding greens. Great descent angle. Really can't be more happy with the way that's coming out with the 7-irons. Going into the longer irons, the 6, 5, and 4-iron, the pattern continues. The 699 V3s gave me a touch more distance across the board. With the 6-iron, I carried 172 yards on average, with the Sub 70 originals only going 169. The 5-iron carried 183 versus 181, and the 4-iron 189 versus 187. Full disclosure here, my 4 and 5-iron swings were not the best. I've definitely improved on that over the year, over the season, but this test really opened up my eyes to where I needed to improve my swing, and I definitely got there after testing these out in the garage and seeing that I needed to improve my accuracy, my striking with those 4 and 5 irons. Great thing I can say with that is that they were really forgiving in the longer irons, and it really has helped out on the course this year, especially when driver isn't going well for me, which is typical. I'm able to hit 3-wood off the tee and make up some distance on longer holes. One thing to point out is dispersion. With the shorter irons, my gamers were a little bit tighter, but not much. It's probably just familiarity, playing those clubs for the last 4 seasons or so. I really know how to hit those a lot better versus the slight adjustment with the new V3s. Now, when I move into the mid and long irons, the V3s really held their own, in some cases even improved with the consistency. That's worth noting because the distance doesn't mean much if you can't, hold your target, you can't hit it what you need to go hit. And I'm not only getting a little bit more distance, I'm getting higher shots on these, which means I'm holding more greens and giving me more of an opportunity to attack pins from further away. So the bottom line here, the sub 70 699 V3 irons are giving me a little bit more distance through the bag, especially noticeably in the 7 through 4 irons. They do this without losing peak height or descent angle, which means the shots are still playable and can hold a green. My regular set keeps things a little bit tighter in the scoring irons, but the V3s really shine in the middle of the bag where extra distance can really make a difference. Now, I can definitely say that that has improved over the course of the year. The more I've played these clubs, the more rounds I've played in the garage and on the course versus when I did this testing. These things are money. They are absolutely dialed in. They're very forgiving, and I am not hating the soft feel, the hot launch, and the very, very high balls that I'm getting on that. More distance, higher shots, definitely can't hate on that. If you're thinking about these irons, I'd say the biggest takeaway is you'll likely see a small bump in yardage without giving up control. More distance, more greens, lower scores. That's kind of what we're all after here. So there's no question, do I like the extra distance up the middle of the bag? Yeah, no, absolutely I do. Would I make the switch? Already have. I'm playing the V3s versus the OGs. Made that switch on my own personal bag, so I definitely recommend trying these out if you're looking for an iron that is not only aesthetically pleasing, but easy to hit, give you that extra distance with a little bit of workability as well.
All right, that's it, right? We just went through all the data. We went through the numbers. We had SkyTrak tell us how we were playing, how the shots were working for us. Now, when I did that, that's the beginning of when I first got this set. I went through the data just now and kind of talked about the comparables, what's stayed the same, what's been different for me playing these for an entire season. What I've noticed the most is the feel of the V3s. They come off, I feel, softer and hotter. They really feel like they launch off the club face. I feel like, personally, they're a little bit more forgiving. In the full testing, I did not do a great job hitting 4 and 5 irons. That wasn't a great strength of mine. I've worked on that, and that has actually become a strength over the season. Hitting those longer irons has actually really helped me out a lot. Earlier this year, over the summer, I actually played in the local tournament where my driver was just terrible. My scores were really bad. On the front 9, had to shift over to 3 wood to try to save myself. And if it wasn't for the high stopping power of these V3s, being able to hit the ball high, get a little bit more distance out of it, but really be able to hold the greens, I probably wouldn't have done as well. As able to scramble myself into a 3rd place finish in my bracket, even without playing very well. What I really noticed with these clubs is that the feel of them is hotter. They come off the face hotter, they launch higher. I feel like they're coming down steeper, they're holding greens, and there's a lot of confidence with that. I feel like I'm able to really put a good swing on every single shot that I take with the V3s compared to the original ones. And don't get me wrong, the original ones have been great clubs. I've been playing them since they came out, and they're actually the reason I became a fan of sub 70 golf. What I like a lot about the new V3s is the look of these things. I think that they're really sharp. I think that they got a nice aggressive, mold or cut on them. I feel like the spin numbers can be better, but as I've been playing them longer, there's been a few rounds out there that I've had this season where I've had people comment to me that I need to learn how to control my spin because I was putting too much spin on it, and I think a lot of that has come with from the time I shot the comparison part of the video to the time playing them in the garage and playing them on the course through the season. I've really learned how to hit these new version really, really well, and my game's improved from it. So kind of, in summary here, what you're finding with the V3s compared to the originals is you're getting a little bit more distance, you're getting a higher launch, you're holding more greens. It makes it a lot easier for you to attack those greens. And, when you kind of learn your own game, learn your own tendencies, it makes it really easy for you to attack those pins with confidence. I think that Sub 70 really knocked it out of the park with this version. I wasn't as big of a fan of the V2s when they came out, but the V3s, when I saw them, instantly I wanted to hit them, and I'm really glad I have. If you're interested in trying out the V3s yourself, definitely check out Sub 70. I have the website down below. Link is in the description as well. And go ahead and give them a try for yourself. If somebody has a great testing program, or if you're in the northern Illinois area, southern Wisconsin, head on down to the 70 down in Sycamore, Illinois, right by their headquarters. You can try them out in person. You can get fit by somebody at their staff. Ask for Neil. He's fantastic. And from there, your clubs, if you decide to buy from Sub 70, they're built 2-3 blocks away from the 70, built here in America. They're shipped to you. Amazing turnaround time. You can't beat it. Obviously, I definitely recommend this. I used AI analytics to kind of break down the data for me, trying to keep my biasness out of the equation, put all the data in, reviewed it all. You guys just went over it with me. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something. Hopefully you saw whether or not the V3s would be right for your game if you're looking to try it out. And again, if this video helped you guys out, give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe train. Helps grow the channel. Leave a comment below if you've ever tried Sub 70 or what you think of this video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, keep grinding.